Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Ted's Booze Cellar with me, your most gracious host, Ted. It is Thursday the 8th of August. I think it's just about to go 10 to 5, so I'm hoping I'm finding you all in a good state of affairs, and if I'm not, then I hope things improve very, very soon. So today we're going to be taking a look at something a little bit lighter that I've kind of wanted to delve into a little bit for a while, and for some reason I've just never really gotten round to it, and I don't know why, because this is the kind of thing that I actually would enjoy. This is a Grapefruit Radler by Stiegl. Now, Stiegl are a very long-standing and very old brewery in Germany. They are really sort of quite well versed in doing these kind of beers, actually, because I think they've got a few different flavours. But a Radler basically is a type of beer, or a beer-based drink, where it's essentially a gold beer mixed with sparkling fruit juice. If you look across the history of German sparkling drinks, you will find a very common trend where the Germans tend to quite like mixing up different flavours with one another. For example, one flavour that I did find when I went over there that I found quite regularly throughout their soft fizzy drinks was orangeade mixed with cola. That was one that I came across a couple of times, which I actually did quite enjoy. But I think that a gold beer with grapefruit sparkling juice would actually work quite well. And it does say that the idea for a Radler was originally thought up of by a German innkeeper who was also an avid cyclist and wanted a beer that he could drink, but that wasn't so strong that it would get him absolutely smashed for when he was cycling. So I think the idea behind it is actually pretty good, and I quite like Radlers. I don't have them super often, but it's great, especially if it's a hot day, or you just don't want something that's too heavy, or you just want a drink, but you don't want to get sort of properly blazed. They're great for stuff like that. And they are a beer mixed drink, so that it's not like they are a beer in of itself. It's gold beer mixed with sparkling fruit juice, essentially. So it will be pretty weak. This one is a 2% alcohol volume drink. It is half a litre. And there's a few different sizes of this particular one that you can get. I saw on Stiegl's website, they sell this can, the half litre can. They also sell 20 litre barrels. They also sell 0.33 litre bottles that are both reusable and disposable, and then they also do a half litre bottle as well. So there's a few different sizes of this one that you can grab, so definitely give it a look in on their website if you like the sound of this. But I will say, I don't know why, I'm actually getting sort of Japanese rising sun vibes from the camera there. If you can see the label, I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of an orange version of the rising sun. But maybe that's just me. That being said though, I do like the design. It's simple, it's colourful, and you know what you're getting in for. So even though it's not necessarily the most visually interesting, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because it looks fine. Yeah, it looks alright. But let's have a quick snifter of it to see what our first impressions are like. So, there we are. And here's the weird thing, right? I do like a lot of fruit, but I don't like a lot of fruit flavoured stuff. But with grapefruit, I don't actually like grapefruit, but I do quite like grapefruit juice, and I also quite like grapefruit flavoured things. So, who knows? And yeah, don't ask me why. It's weird. I just don't like eating grapefruit, but I do quite like it drinking grapefruit juice. I don't get it. Yeah, just smells like fizzy grapefruit. Really nice, simple, light, refreshing nose. It's not particularly striking, but then again, it's in the can, so it's not got much room to breathe. So, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It actually smells really nice. Like I said, it's just the main thing is I can't smell much of it because it's in a can right now. So we'll pour it into the San Miguel glass and then see what the hue looks like, as well as getting a proper profile for the nose. Kind of looks almost like a juicy pale ale, actually. And then again, I guess that's the complexion of the fruit juice coming into favour there. Right, so let's give it a snifter in the glass then. The grapefruit flavour, again, because it's in the glass and it's got a bit more room to breathe, I feel is a little bit more subdued, but I actually prefer the nose in the glass, because even though the grapefruit flavour is a bit more subdued, the overall flavour of the nose is just generally a little bit more palatable. In the can, there was this weird sort of like tarty harshness to it, or at least it was just kind of missing this extra pizzazz. And in the glass, it actually smells really nice. Yeah, in the glass it's like a 9 out of 10. There's again a bit of extra magic that I think is missing, but I'm not sure quite what. So I'll say a 9 out of 10. I think this is actually a really good nose. But before we see what this really tastes like, we'll have ourselves a quick palate cleanser of water. And then on to the most important part of the video, which is to see what this sucker tastes like. So, to everyone at home, I hope you have a great weekend ahead, and bottoms up. That's good. The grapefruit flavour isn't too omnipresent. It's quite sweet. It's not as tart as I'd really expect a grapefruit flavoured thing to be, but the flavour that is there is good. Yeah, you sort of get this onrush of like this slightly sweetened grapefruit flavour. And kind of got this slightly barley-ish undertone, which I assume is from the gold beer, but it actually really complements the slight tartiness of the grapefruit really, really well, actually. So that's really nice. Texture isn't the smoothest, but it does generally go down quite easily. The mouthfeel is, I would argue, probably the weakest part of the drink, because it's a bit muddled and it's not the smoothest. That being said, I do feel like the flavour carries it for the most part, but that being said, I do feel like the flavour does carry it for the most part, and the fragrance as well does help kind of at least distract from the fact that the texture isn't really super smooth, but I'll be willing to go out of my way to try more flavours from these guys in the future though, because what is here is really nice. It's very light, it's very refreshing. It doesn't really taste like a beer, more like a fruit juice with characteristics of a beer. Kind of similar to what Jabel do, the beer company who make the elderflower cobbler and the peach cobbler beers. It's kind of similar to that, but with those, you can kind of tell they are somewhat beery. Although I don't know, because those kind of have a bit of more of a mouthfeel like a pale ale, because this kind of does have a bit more of a mouthfeel like a slightly muddled up fruity lager. So I don't know. I'm really struggling where to put this numerically in terms of a rating, because it's actually really, really nice. The flavour is really well balanced. No particular flavour outstays its welcome or is too overpowering or too understated. It's really, really well balanced. It's just that texture kind of messes it up a little bit. It's not the smoothest to drink down. It's really annoying actually, and it is quite distracting, really, the mouthfeel a little bit. And I don't know. It's not completely awful though, because the flavour, like I said, is fantastic. I'll give it a 8 out of 10. The mouthfeel and the texture is by far and away the weakest part of this drink, as is the fact that I think it could be a bit more tart, especially in the aftertaste. I think like having a slightly more sour aftertaste would kind of just undercut all of the sweetness throughout really, really nicely. Just a bit at the end, but I don't know. Overall, it's great. Generally, it's a really nice light fruity beer that you can have if you don't really want a full-on lager and you just want something fairly light, because like I said, it's only 2% alcohol volume. So yeah, I'll say 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I think that's about fair. If they improved the texture primarily and then also tweaked the aftertaste a bit, then we'd be looking on for about a 9, I think, honestly. This kind of drink does actually generally tend to have great potential, and Stiegl are generally a pretty solid and reliable brewer, I think. So yeah, 7.5, 8 out of 10. I would buy this again actually, because to be fair, this was pretty cheap. I think it was only about a couple of quid from the shop where I bought it, but it's usually around that mark, if not slightly more. So I think go out of your way and get it if this is the kind of thing you want, because it's fairly affordable, it's light, it's refreshing, and it's tasty. So yeah, give it a shot. But anyway, If you guys liked this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar, let me know in the comments section down below. If you want to suggest any other video formats, also let me know down there as well. I'll leave the links to my social medias and my other bits and bobs in the video description. And if you liked this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you drank anything in particular that's particularly interesting this week, then let me know. And until next time, have fun, stay safe with whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, wash your hands, drink responsibly, know your limits, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Bye bye for now.